Hello, mic check. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start this event in other 5 minutes, so I request everyone to please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Welcome you all to Lenscape Kerala photo exhibition inaugural ceremony. Today is a very significant day of Kerala tourism as it gets an opportunity to collaborate with the NGMA, one of the biggest institutions in India's cultural space, which has come forward to host Landscape Kerala photo exhibition that presents a visual splendor of God's own country, showcasing Kerala as a living mosaic of panoramic nature and electric culture. Landscape Kerala features 100 curated frames shot in Kerala by 10 eminent travel and media photographers from across the country. After enthralling viewers in New Delhi, Vadodara, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and Pune, the event will unfold here today and continue till March 1st. This traveling exhibition will conclude on March 29 at Kolkata after visiting Chennai, Hyderabad, and Surat after Bengaluru. More than spotlighting Kerala as a destination, this exhibition captures vivid impressions of the state, landscapes, culture, and memory through the unique lens of each participating photographer. As part of this project, each photographer traveled through different regions of Kerala for 5 days, covering themes such as nature, wildlife, heritage, rural and coastal life, architecture, festivals, and spirituality. The Landscape Kerala exhibition is curated by eminent art curator and critic Ms. Uma Nair, renowned wildlife and conservation photographer Sri Balan Madhavan is the director of photographer of the Landscape Kerala project, a moving platform that carries Kerala's warmth across the country. Landscape Kerala honors the state's cultural diversity, pluralism, while serving as a wayfinder for travelers to discover forests, hills, backwaters, places of workshops and festivals that make Kerala an experimental destination of many choices. Along with reinforcing Kerala position as well as established destination that has witnessed surge in visitors footfalls in recent years, the exhibition also shines a light on several sites and experiments that remain largely unexplored. The show features photographs by Aishwarya Sridhar, Amit Pasricha, H. Satish, Kauntanya Sinha, Manoj Arora, Natasha Kartar, Emarajan, Saibal Das, Saurabh Chatterjee, Shivang Mehta, and Umesh Gogan, captured during their sojourn in Kerala in Mumbai and December last year. To sum up, Landscape Kerala is yet another innovative clarion call from Kerala tourism, connecting directly with travelers and inviting them to experience this piece of paradise down south. Now I request NGM Deputy Curator Sri Darshan Kumar you to set today's program in motion by welcoming the gathering. Can we have a round of applause to welcome and to Sri Darshan Kumar?
Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of National Gallery of Modern Art, Bengaluru, Ministry of Culture, Government of India, and in collaboration with Department of Tourism, Government of Kerala, it is our privilege to warmly welcome you to the inaugural ceremony of Lenscape Kerala in Bengaluru. We extend our respectful greetings to our chief guest, Dr. Venu V, IAS retired, Chairperson of Kochi Biennale Foundation and former Kerala Chief Secretary. A warm welcome to our director, National Gallery of Modern Art, Bengaluru, Ms. Priyanka Mary Francis. welcome to the photography director, Lenscape Kerala, Sri Balan Madhavan, and the curator of the show, Lenscape Kerala, Ms. Uma Nair. We also extend a cordial welcome to the participating photographers, distinguished guests, members of the press, and the art enthusiasts gathered here this evening with us. Your gracious presence adds immense value to this occasion, and we are deeply honored to host you all. Before I hand over, a small announcement. Launched by Riviti in 2022, Indian Museums Against Climate Change, IMAC, is a pioneering national initiative that mobilizes museums as drivers for climate action and sustainability leadership. Now it's the third year. IMAC brings together a strong network of 15 partner museums across India, driving measurable environmental practices across energy, water, and waste management, as well as the public engagement through exhibitions and community programs. Thank you again, and it's a warm welcome.
Thank you, Darshan sir. Presiding over today's function is Ms. Priyanka Mary Francis, IAS Director, National Gallery of Modern Art, Bengaluru. In fact, it's a ma'am who is mainly responsible for this function being held here today. As she faculty, the entire process to be over in a few days. When we approached her with our respect, Ms. Priyanka is a native of Thiruvananthapuram and belongs to the 2009 IAS batch of Karnataka cadre. I now invite Priyanka ma'am to kindly deliver our presentation address. Can we have a big round of applause to welcome Priyanka ma'am?
Good evening all, distinguished guests on and off the dais. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the inauguration of Lenscape Kerala at the National Gallery of Modern Art, Bengaluru. NGMA Bengaluru, a subordinate office under Ministry of Culture, carries the important mandate of representing and engaging with the artistic expressions of all the South Indian states. As a regional center of NGMA, we are interested with nurturing dialogue across Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and with presenting diverse forms of modern and contemporary artistic practice. Photography, as a vital and evolving medium of contemporary art, falls squarely within this mandate. Over the decades, photography has moved beyond documentation to become a powerful language of artistic interpretation and imagination. It captures not only what is seen, but how it is seen. As I gathered in a recent discussion, there is a certain politics in how the frame is composed, and most importantly, how certain elements are left out from the frame, which we seldom think about. Hosting Lenscape Kerala reaffirms our commitment to embracing photography as an integral part of modern artistic discourse. This 4-day exhibition presents nearly 100 photographs by 10 distinguished travel and media photographers who undertook an immersive journey through Kerala in December 2025. The images before us go beyond scenic representation. They explore landscape, culture, community, and lived experience with sensitivity and depth. I commend the Department of Tourism, Government of Kerala, for envisioning tourism through an artistic lens. By inviting accomplished photographers to engage deeply with the state, the department has facilitated not just promotion but interpretation, allowing Kerala to be experienced as both geography and as an emotion. We are especially honored that this exhibition is curated by Ms. Uma Nair, whose critical insight and curatorial acumen have shaped these individual works into a cohesive and evocative visual journey. At NGMA Bengaluru, we believe art spaces must foster cultural empathy and cross-regional understanding. Exhibitions such as Lenscape Kerala strengthen the creative dialogue across the southern states and remind us that art has the power to connect landscapes with people and people with each other. I congratulate the Department of Tourism, the curator, and all participating photographers for this thoughtful initiative. I am confident that visitors will leave inspired with a renewed appreciation for photography as contemporary art and perhaps with a deeper curiosity to explore the stories that lie within each frame. I wish Lenscape Kerala every success. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ma'am, for your address. Now I request Sri Balan Madhavan, Director of Photography of the Lenscape Kerala project, to speak a few words about the concept behind this initiative. Can we have a big round of applause to welcome Sri Balan Madhavan?
Respected dignitaries on the dais and the equally respected people on the other side of the auditorium. Let me be very clear. About 3 months back, Mr. Suresh of MD Nish, the PR agency handling Kerala tourism, called me and said, Balan, I have a beautiful project. And I want you to be part of the project as photography director. So he explained the project to me. And he told me, we are going to invite 10 photographers from different parts of the country and they will shoot Kerala. I said, that's a wonderful thing, because as a photographer who was responsible for thousands of images that Kerala tourism used from 1988 to 2004, I know the potential of Kerala as a tourism destination and the scope of photography that's possible in the state of Kerala. Then I asked the most important question. So how many days will these people be there? And he said 5 days. I said, what? Are you crazy? How do you expect photographers to travel across Kerala for just 5 days and make great pictures? In my experience, okay, there is a matter of chance and luck that is there, but it's practically impossible to make good pictures in 5 days. But these people proved me wrong. All these 10 photographers, for that, I should give a round of applause. When you see the pictures, this should be inside your mind. When you go through the auditorium, just think. Just 5 days. When I say 5 days, it's usually 2 hours in the morning and maybe 3 hours in the evening. So 5 hours into 5 days. In 25 hours, they created this beautiful work of art. That's phenomenal. My job was just sending them to the right place, because I knew most of them. The most important thing is it's like a kaleidoscope. It's almost like this 5 blind man going to the elephant, touching different parts of the elephant, and coming back and saying different things. So we have architectural photographers here, we have travel photographers here, and of course we have this beautiful young girl here whose pictures you will be discussing for the next 1 week. Because the first question people are going to ask, is it photography? That triggers something inside every viewer. So that way we have different types of photographers here. Architectural guys, wildlife, pure wildlife guys like Shivanga Mehta. And each of them saw Kerala through their eyes, through their lenses. And my job is sending them to the right place. If I had sent Shivanga Mehta to Trivandrum, that would have been a disaster. So I sent him to Parambakulam and other places, wildlife areas. Likewise, another 3 people here, like here are two of the best travel photographers in the country sitting before you. I sent them to the best travel destinations. So likewise, in fact, my job was easy because they were experts in their own fields. And that is how this exhibition became a success. My job was very little. The only thing I can take pride is that every time the photographers ask me, Balan, what am I supposed to shoot? My answer always was, whatever that you want to shoot, you shoot. Because I had confidence in them. That's important. I had total absolute confidence in them. And in fact, I'm a little worried that last time when the inauguration happened in Delhi, our honorable tourism minister officially announced that this is going to be an annual event. My challenge is, how am I going to match these 10 with the next 10? If I am going to be the director, that's a different thing. But anyway, this is a great thing because this is the first time in the history of India, a tourism department of a state has invited photographers with different skills and talents to a state, shoot for 5 days, whatever you want to shoot. Just give us 10 pictures each for the exhibition. This is the first time that's happened. And let us hope that it continues in the years to come. And the most important thing is tourism is not about seeing places anymore. It's about experiential or experiences, your experiences there. Now we have 10 new brand ambassadors. These photographers are going to talk about their experiences in Kerala, which is the best marketing tool than any brochure that we have brought out till today. Thank you.
Thank you, Balanso. Let us now view a video frame within a frame, which is a behind the scenes story of Lenscape Kerala. Frame within a frame.
Kerala is a symphony. The whisper of the forest, the gentle gurgle of the river, the rhythm of rituals, a land of endless stories. You don't just see Kerala, you feel it. To capture this symphony, Lenscape Kerala, a prestigious initiative of Kerala tourism, conceived a first-of-its-kind visual journey. 10 leading travel and media photographers crisscrossed the state for 5 days, captured 100 photographs through a lens like never before. Curated by eminent art curator Ms. Uma Nair, with renowned nature and conservation photographer Mr. Balan Madhavan as photo director. This film takes you behind the scenes, the frame behind the frame, into the journeys. Guiding this visual journey is Balan Madhavan, a renowned nature and conservation photographer, one of only 5 senior fellows of the International League of Conservation Photographers from Asia, and a recipient of the United Nations Award for Nature Photography. Among the photographers is Aishwarya Sridhar, a self-taught documentary filmmaker and National Geographic explorer, and the first Indian woman to win a Wildlife Award at the Wildlife Photographer of the Year Awards 2020. Alongside her is Shivang Mehta, an internationally acclaimed wildlife photographer and Sony ambassador, and an associate fellow of the International League of Conservation Photographers, who has documented India's Project Cheetah.
It's really a very, very creative initiative, and I'm sure because of this, some great photographic work and documentation will be done in Kerala.
From wildlife to lived history comes Kaunteya Sinha, an internationally acclaimed journalist, storyteller and photographer, a former London correspondent for the Times of India, who has worked in over 90 countries and received the Nelson Mandela Leadership Award for Culture and Arts. The journey then moves to H. Satish, a celebrated nature and wildlife photographer known for his mastery of light, color and zoological history, and a multiple international award winner.
A fantastic opportunity for all the photographers to showcase Kerala, which is one of the very famous destinations in India. And I hope in the future, the Kerala, which is known as God's own country, it should be also known as photographer's paradise.
Architecture and heritage find voice through Manoj Arora.
You should come. Kerala is vibrant. It's like an open canvas. You can tell your own story.
A renowned fine art photographer specializing in India's architectural legacy, founder of Reflections by M, and a museum-grade digital fine art expert. Continuing the narrative is Saurabh Anand Chatterjee, an acclaimed travel photographer and educator, founder of SIA Photography, with over 2 decades of documenting India's landscapes and people, and author of Celebrating India. Expanding the frame is Amit Pasricha, a globally acclaimed panoramic photographer with over 3 decades of experience and a winner of Best 10 Books in the World, whose work focuses on India's architecture and cultural heritage.
As a landscape photographer, Niliyampati is my favorite, and tea estate and wildlife extraordinary.
The landscape deepens with Umesh Gaudna, an award-winning freelance photographer and Sony Alpha mentor, specializing in landscape and astrophotography and documenting Rajasthan and Himalayan heritage. Time and memory converge through Saibal Das, a veteran photographer who transitioned from photojournalism to pilgrimage and historical narratives, renowned for his black and white silver gelatin prints, including his work on Hampi. And completing the circle is Natasha Kartar Hemrajani, a Mumbai-based visual artist and editorial photographer, published in The Guardian and Vogue, whose work blends documentary and experimental photography, focusing on cultural memory and living histories. And finally, bringing these many voices into a single visual rhythm is Uma Nair, curator of Lenscape Kerala, an eminent art critic and curator with over 35 years of experience in modern and contemporary art, whose work spans major exhibitions for the Lalit Kala Academy and international art festivals. Together, this vision becomes an invitation. Lenscape Kerala invites you to pause, to see again one living, breathing Kerala.
Wow, what a beautiful. Thank you so much to all the photographers. You guys made me to witness this amazing and beautiful video. Thank you. Now, may I invite Ms. Uma Nair, curator of the Lenscape Kerala exhibition, to share a curator vision that shaped the exhibition we are set to experience. Can we have a round of applause to welcome Ms. Uma Nair?
Dr. Venu, a historic tenure that you have now as the chief of the Kochi Biennale. In terms of one's own journey of being a bureaucrat, I was reading up about you over the past 2 days, and I realized that to be chief secretary in Kerala is by no means just a mere milestone. It is something that speaks to us about the beauty of historicity. It also speaks to us about the integrity that a bureaucrat picks up along the way. And it is this integrity that defines who you are. Good evening, sir. It's such an honor for Lenscape Kerala to be inaugurated by a gentleman such as you, who takes me back to the beauty of the ancestors of Kerala, who were men and women of not just language, but they were men and women of service. And so I come here to the land of Bengaluru, the NGMA, historical as it is. And yesterday when I walk in, I see through the glazed window of the museum shop 2 books that I wrote. And we will come to that at the end of this evening's in this auditorium. I also want to say that today I was pleasantly surprised to see the director, Priyanka Mary Francis, walk into the exhibition. And then she came to talk to me. I can't tell you how delighted I was to see a director of the NGMA who is a woman who has not just the grace of her own belonging, but someone who believes that art is meant to be shared. And then, of course, we have our project director, Balan Madhavan. Balan Madhavan is one who actually creates history through the passages of time, not only with his wry wit and humor, but also on the little things that he did. Ladies and gentlemen, Balan Madhavan belonged to the incredible India sojourn. And when God's Own Country was created in terms of that terminology, Balan Madhavan's landscapes are the ones that defined what Kerala was and is even today. And so when we come to this exhibition that you are going to see, I want to actually begin with a very beautiful shloka that I learnt when I was a schoolgirl. And I believe that that is what Kerala is today. It says, Hastasya bhushnam danam, satyam kanthasya bhushnam, shrotasya bhushnam shastram, bhushnai kim prayojanam. We go back to the first one. Hastasya bhushnam danam. The ornament of the hand is charity. Satyam kanthasya bhushnam. The ornament of the throat is truth. Shrotasya bhushnam shastram. The ornament of the ears and the head is the complete knowledge of the holy texts. Bhushnai kim prayojanam. Why do we need ornaments? When I think of the land of Kerala, I think of the fact that Kerala is a land that defined itself in terms of charity, in terms of truth, and in terms of knowledge that we gain because of that important tool, education. To imagine that the state that has 100% literacy in our country is also a state that boasts of every schoolgirl having had an education so that she is not denied what life can give. And so when we come into this exhibition that has been curated, I want to say, as someone who has written for 36 years and who believes in the originality of any art form, the most important thing was to find stories within stories. And each photographer, what they give us, is not just about the inner eye, but unconsciously, each one of them has given us that beautiful phrase by the great Henri Cartier-Bresson, when he said, the decisive moment is what defines a picture. And so when you look at those images, you will find a series of images that have been shot in monochrome, just simple black and white, and another series that bring in all kinds of color. And so you begin in the exhibition with the brilliant Saibal Das, who was one of Outlook magazine's most important photographers. And when you look at the work of Saibal Das, you instantly know here is a man who loves a street scene. You think of the street scene and you think of that great film, My Fair Lady, and that eternal song, I have often walked on the streets before. It's called The Street Where You Live. For Saibal Das, the street where you live is the street that belongs to different people in Kerala. And then from Saibal Das in the exhibition, we will move to the brilliant Kontya Sinha. Kontya Sinha, who was Times of India editor in London. Kontya Sinha, who has written stories all his life, comes back from London after a failed marriage and sinks into depression and picks up the camera and says, I'm going to shoot. And one of his most important exhibitions that went to Rome during the beatification of Mother Teresa was the Rome project. Kontya Sinha was the last photographer to be added to the list. And I was so happy when Balan Madhavan actually looked at his work and said, wow. When you look at his stories, you know that he went to Kerala because he wanted to dig deep. And amongst those images, there is one image that he shot of the Kochi Biennale. That image has been added to this exhibition as a tribute to Dr. Venu V. Because, you know, in Hindi you have a phrase that says, Apna Kam, Apna Parichaya. It means we are known by the work that we do. And this exhibition tells us that if you look at the landscapes of Satish, and you look at the manner in which he captures the mountains, you look at the manner in which he captures the mangroves, the manner in which he captures just a sunset on a beach, you know that this is a man who loves light. And across the room you will find the Chinese nets. And in those Chinese nets, you will find framed within those sticks of bamboo are Saurabh Chatterjee's sunset. When you look at Saurabh Chatterjee's sunset, you remember a Sandhya Raga. And you actually think that if everything in life is about color, then color is actually what defines what a photographer does. Aishwarya Sridhar, the BBC Award winner of wildlife, the only BBC Award winner of wildlife in our country, she goes to the northern parts of Kerala and she creates images that tell us, don't forget your land. Prakriti is what we were born from, what we will go to, and what we need to conserve. And then you look at Umesh Gogna, the son of a jeweler. Umesh Gogna says that he grew up looking at his father studying emeralds in the North Light. He went to Kerala and understood the meaning of the North Light. And then you look at Manoj Arora. Manoj Arora says that he wants to dig deep into India's heritage. And when you look at these images, you realize that the most beautiful thing about photography is that once you pick up a camera, you will never put it down. And that is what this exhibition is about. At the NGMA Bengaluru, I want to say, by accepting our invitation to come here and do this exhibition, you have given us a shelf life that is unforgettable. Because the NGMA at Bengaluru is one that actually invites people to walk in just from the outskirts of the walls. And the most important thing about being here is that we hope that people will come and they will share, and others can also come back again. And what I want to say is that the beauty of this whole experience is to tell us, always remember, when you are able to look at something and know its beauty, how fortunate we are that we have sight. Thank you.
Thank you, Uma Ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Venu V, IAS, Chairperson of Kochi Biennale Foundation and former Kerala Chief Secretary. Dr. Venu was the Director General of National Museum, New Delhi, and also served Kerala Tourism for many years as Secretary and Director, among his other official assignments. I now request Dr. Venu sir kindly deliver your inaugural address. To welcome him, put your hands together. Thank you.
Director of NGMA, my former colleague, Priyanka, Madam Uma Nair, Mr. Balan Madhavan, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Words can't express the delight that swells up in my heart when I stand before you at this wonderful occasion. This event actually brings together several things that I hold very dear to my heart. For one, it is being held at NGMA, and NGMA is one of the great institutions of our country. I have been fortunate enough to have worked in the Ministry of Culture, and while there, I was put in charge of several institutions. Some of my dearest memories are about the National Gallery, and I've had numerous occasions to visit NGMA Bengaluru. I know the vibrant atmosphere that this city has and how NGMA Bengaluru has contributed to that atmosphere. This occasion brings me back to Kerala tourism, which is like my home. They say that you can take Venu out of tourism, but you can't take tourism out of Venu. So every time I have an excuse to come back into tourism in one way or the other, I'm overjoyed. It also gives me pleasure because this reaffirms, as if it needs any reaffirmation, the power of visual storytelling. Over the 2.5 decades that it has been my privilege to serve Kerala in various forms in tourism, I have always held the view that nothing beats the power of visual storytelling. No amount of marketing can surpass the stories that people will build, the memories that people will make, the scenes and the photographs and the videos that people would watch. And so it's always been the endeavor of Kerala tourism to create these visual moments. And we have done that with a fair degree of success over the years. But Lenscape really adds a whole new chapter to this idea, to this concept, and and I'm being part of this movement, taking this visual journey across many cities for people to enjoy is a privilege. Thank you very much, NGMA. Thank you to Kerala Tourism for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And sharing the stage with very eminent people here. I'm not sure how many of you have read Uma Nair ma'am's book, but we must remember that she is a person who, with her scintillating prose and curatorial wisdom, has guided several generations of art lovers, guiding them through the esoteric worlds of art, breaking down barriers. And to get Uma Nair ma'am to actually look through these photographs, which I'm sure are going to be wonderful, but making sense, making connections, understanding the nuances and interpreting them for us. I think it's a great idea, and the project is in the safest hands possible. And Priyanka, I have just finished congratulating her because Priyanka is the great big hope in Indian culture. I keep saying this because I've worked in culture. I've practically given up on how this wonderful country of ours is treating its cultural institutions. And yet in this very bleak landscape, there still will be some slivers of hope. Some people here and there who would quietly go on about their business, go far beyond their call of duty, and try to do the best they can. And Priyanka is a great example of that, leading by example here, also taking on the very onerous responsibility of managing Salarjung Museum, one of the greatest museums that we have in South India. And quite naturally, Priyanka would be the person, the catalyst behind this kind of a creative project, rather unusual project, to play host to this project. I'm sure that Priyanka would have taken the lead. And Balan, my dear friend, you see, I have proprietary rights for Kerala tourism. Wherever I go, I would say Kerala tourism. I've been there from 1996. The only guy who's senior to me, alive, and senior to me in these kind of get-togethers is Balan. And he goes back far, far back into the history of Kerala tourism. Right from the start of the first brochure that Kerala tourism printed, the first marketing endeavor that this fledgling tourism department started in the 80s. The first photograph that came out in color introducing the state of Kerala belonged to Balan Madhavan. That was captured by Balan, right? And right up to the mid 2000s, till he decided to retire and have fun. Yeah, but you were always a conservation person. So and Balan now directing photographers is a great way of taking the right person to the right place. Among the people here, the wonderful photographers who have been gathered together, who have given their time, their energy, and their creativity for this project. I happen to know, it's my privilege to have met and been acquainted with a few of them. And I know how difficult it is to break that barrier. Like they said, if any photographer, any artist, the moment you put a time barrier before them, they'll say no. They'll walk away. They say, no, you can't dictate to me that my creative juices have to flow from this time to this time. And my output has to be these. That's a surefire way of turning off artistic people. But if there's one person who can, with all those constraints, who can get the best out of the photographers, it would be Balan. Because he speaks with authority, with seniority, and with sensitivity. So I know all of you want me to stop so that we can go and start watching the exhibition. So I don't need to spend more time on this, except just by saying that Kerala tourism, and this is I don't need to make a pitch for Kerala tourism, but I'm so happy that Kerala tourism is taking this route. And that's very important because for a moment, let's step back and think about it. I mean, in this audience, I'm sure every one of us, we have, a photograph on our phones, in our cameras, in our albums of a sunset. Most of us who visited Kochi, Kerala, would have taken a photograph of the Chinese nets. Every one of us would have an elephant, from a forest. So, particularly Kerala, because it's been visited, and many photographers have spent months there. One would think that where is the challenge here? Yeah, you've already seen all this. It is going to be a very difficult and a very challenging proposition to bring something new out of something that's been so often seen around, so photographed, and so visible everywhere. But I'm sure that when you put this kind of challenge, you will get the best out of the artists, out of the photographers here. And I think that's a great way of challenging everyone. Every visitor who is going to watch this exhibition would go back and say, well, this triggers a memory, but perhaps I have to go back. Because I haven't seen this angle, I haven't seen this Kerala. And I think the exhibition would have served its purpose. If it stimulates that kind of wistfulness, that nostalgia, that curiosity, that eagerness to go back again. Kudos to Kerala Tourism for taking this wonderful route. Congratulations to Suresh and his team, MD Nish, for having put it all together. Congratulations to the photographers, some of whom are represented here. I think we are all eager to watch your works there. And once again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. With your permission, may I now formally declare the exhibition open. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that insightful address, sir. Now I request our guest of honor, Dr. Venu V, to light the lamp marking the inauguration of Lenscape Kerala photo exhibition in Bengaluru. I also request all dignitaries on the stage to join him. And I also request everyone to please put your hands together when we are lighting the lamp. I request everybody to please put your hands together. Thank you, respected dignitaries. I request all the dignitaries members to please take your seat. I now request Mr. Umar Nair and Mr. Balan Madhavan to present Dr. Venu and Ms. Priyanka with a small token of gratitude from Kerala Tourism. Can I expect a big round of applause as a token of gratitude? Thank you. We have now reached the concluding segment of today's program, and I now request Landscape Kerala exhibition curator Ms. Umar Nair to propose the vote of thanks.
All our guests who were here today, I would like to express gratitude to each one of you for taking out time. I've been hearing a lot about the traffic of Bengaluru ever since I landed here last morning, and I want to say that your presence is precious. To all the media who have come and who have helped us with coverage ever since we had our inauguration in Delhi, Kerala Tourism actually extends not just warm-hearted gratitude to them, but also says that it is historic, the kind of coverage that we have got. And the most important thing is that we wanted to shine the light on India's photographers. And then we come to the last bit and the historicity of the NGMA in Bangalore. Ladies and gentlemen, years ago, there were two extremely important exhibitions that were curated at the National Gallery of Modern Art in Delhi, and they celebrated two of India's eminent artists who were 100 years old. One was the centenary of Upendra Maharati. Upendra Maharati, who was an artist, a designer, an architect. When the Rashtrapati Bhavan was made, it was Upendra Maharati who designed the chairs for the Rashtrapati Bhavan. And Upendra Maharati's exhibition was held in Delhi. It was curated by Sri Advaita Gadnayak. The exhibition was designed by a brilliant assistant curator called Ajish Raj. Ajish Raj was not just an assistant curator. He was a designer, he was a photographer, and he designed the book of Upendra Maharati. I was fortunate to be asked to write the text. The second book that was done, 100 Years of Dhanraj Bhagat. one of the greatest sculptors who was a professor at the Delhi College of Art. And this book again was done after the exhibition was done at the NGMA in Delhi. And Ajish Raj is the one who designed the project, and he took photographs, and it is he and I who sat together to do these two books. Can you imagine my joy when I came here yesterday to see these two books in the museum window? And I requested the curator and the assistant curator of NGMA here, and I said, please, would you allow me to gift a copy of these two books to Dr. Venu? Because at the end of the day, the most beautiful thing in the world is to share books. And so today, I request to please, I request Priyanka. So the book on Upendra Maharati was called Shashwat, and the book on Dhanraj Bhagat. Both these books, ladies and gentlemen, were written by me and launched in Bangalore during the exhibitions. And it gives me great humility as well as gratitude to say, this is what I wanted to give to Dr. Venu, because I wanted to say the most beautiful thing in the world in Kerala is the education we have got. And sir, may I request you one day, you must write your memoirs. Because if India is to have bureaucrats in the future, we need men of integrity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. All our guests are now requested to proceed to the gallery with the chief guest and the dignitaries on stage, where the gallery will be opened with a ribbon cutting. Following the ribbon cutting exhibition, curator Umar Nair will give us all a curatorial walkthrough across the gallery, after which I invite all of you to join us for a dinner at the cafeteria. Thank you for all taking a time out from your busy schedules to be with us today. Thank you, everyone.